develop. No, it looks good, but it's still blocky. So fade smooth with Z and then edit mode. As you can see, it has this weird shading glitch. We can just fix that by adding the edge loop. So Control R here. Maybe also include more geometry on the bottom. So extrude or inset, make it smaller like this. I think the pockets look good. We can also always just subdivide them, then add edge loops so it's better and more geometry. So something like this. Then add edge loops to the top of the shade smooth. Then add the subdivision for the other ones. And if you want to be super detailed, you can also just take one of the pockets and just go to wireframe mode. Select the faces and then extrude more so you connect it. But yeah, it's going to take some time to actually have it super detailed, but you can easily just hide the faces that you don't want to see. So for example, I want to hide this big chunk of the pocket. So I select it with L and then hide it with H. And then now I can just easily select the faces that I want to select. Extrude again. And then it will be connected if I press Alt H to reveal it. So this would fix it. Now we have the helmet, cap, bananas, and everything there. Maybe so smooth this. Just one last thing is the spaceship. Super easy to do. We have already the blocking and it would work really good. So we don't have to delete it and create something new. We can just go to edit mode. First of all, maybe just extrude the nose here and make it a little bit smaller. Before extruding the nose, maybe you can just add an edge loop here. Scale it on the Z axis. Also, I pressed Z once, maybe press it again so it's be on the local axis for the objects. And then also just add another one, scale it, and Z again. Press 0, move it down on the Z, so G, Z again. And then we can just select, since we have the two edge loops here, we can just select the face and then extrude the nose. Then make it a little bit smaller. Of course, yeah, we can subdivide it, subdivision modifier, to make it more smooth instead of the blockiness. But of course, since we did the subdivision modifier, you know what to do. You need to add tons of edge loops. So Control R. And you have to do it with almost every part of the spaceship, but it's fine. Other ways to do it, but for now, let's just do it with the edge loops. So Control R and just slide them here also. Make the back of the spaceship more sharp. Then the front of it like smooth shading. And maybe just one more to make it a little bit flat at the bottom here. And one last thing. Maybe I want to create some kind of a shape here on top. So select the wings, duplicate it, and I want to rotate it on here. So this is going to be, if I press R, XX maybe, and rotate it by negative 90 degrees. Press Enter, and I press twice to rotate it on the local X-axis of the object on this side. And then basically I'm going to move it and maybe scale it down a little bit. And of course I want to have another one here. So Shift D and then move it on the Y, but not like the global Y, the local Y of the object. So press Y again. Something like this would be good. You go to the camera view. This is looking good. Last but not least is the backpack. We need to add a few more details. So yeah, it's just gonna be easy. Just first of all, again, subdivision modifier. And you're gonna see it looking like a blob here. So again, edit mode, as always, edge loops everywhere, and slide them. I know it sounds weird in the beginning, but as you do tons of 3D models, it's going to be something normal that you do every now and then. I'm just adding edge loops here because I like the buttons a little bit blocky. For the top of the backpack, we can select the polygon on top. I'm not a fan of this, so maybe you can move it a little bit down, something like that, to make it a little bit flat. And then select everything, move it down on the Z-axis, so Z and Z again. You can select those two, extrude them up. Yeah, select the edges. I want this edge, and slide them down. Of course, this is looking super smooth, so again, just tons of edge loops. Control R, move in. This is smooth as well, so more. And then again here. Also maybe at the top. I want just a cylinder here. Of course, you can just create a cylinder, but I think it's just easier if I duplicate this polygon, scale it down, and then extrude. Now we have the backpack done. Let's see it from the front view. And you can see the cylinder is not going through the whole thing, so maybe edit mode, select the whole cylinder, make it bigger. And yeah, this is looking better. Maybe also create the antenna, because I don't see that we made the antenna for the monkeys. This is going to be super quick to make. Cube, let's just select the part here on the helmet. Right click, shift right click, and create a cube. Want to rotate it so it would almost align with the antenna here. So let's move to sketch, yes, something like that. And then we go to edit mode. As you can see, the antenna is some kind of a button. Then we go with this long thing here. So since we have it, we can just subdivision modifier as always. Now we have this button here. We need to rename antenna. And then since we have it now, we can just duplicate the polygon and just extrude it all the way to the top like so. Get one of the polygons here. Scale it down a little bit and then extrude. And then extrude again. So now we have this long rod. And then, of course, I want some kind of sphere on top, so maybe shift right click and then add another cube without adding any edge loops, so it would be that sphere, shade smooth. And then, of course, I want to add this zigzaggy thing here, so if I want to add it, I can just press Control R, add this edge loop, as you can see, the orange highlight here, one here, and then Control R, edge loop here. So I made the edge loop on top and one edge loop at the bottom here. Now we can add the zigzaggy shape with more edge loops. So there's one zigzag part here. And if we go to the solid view, you can see it's not as sharp as you want it. So if it's super smooth because of the subdivision modifier, as always, what do? Add more edge loops. Control R. This is more sharp now. Edge loop here. More sharp. I know it's a little bit fast, but again, it's like once you start adding like the edge loops and extruding, it's gonna become muscle memory. So you don't have to even think about it. And now we have the zigzaggy thing with the antenna. Almost all the details are there with the models. And maybe just something that I can see here, like there's a cylinder thing in the back of the backpack here, or like a space thing that he has. So maybe you can just create like a quick cylinder, or maybe not even create one. Maybe just duplicate this one, Shift D, and I wanna move it to the back. So Y and Y again. And since it kinda comes out from the side, so scale it on the X-axis. But if I press S and X, it goes warps it a little bit, so S, X, and press X again. And see it from the front view with the camera, and then move it so it matches the concept like this. Also, maybe select the edge loop and slide it a little bit to the sides. So here it looks good. All the details and everything. Cool.
In the next lesson, we're going to tweak more objects and work on the composition a bit.